Eric Decker with the Post. Just obviously, it's an emotional loss for you guys. What's just kind of the vibe around the locker room in the moments right after?
Um, of course, we're disappointed, but we're just all looking towards each other and understand our season's not over, and we still have to be able to take one day at a time and one game at a time, and rely on each other's backs to make each other better.
Aiden Crowder with WAB. Curtis, on that first drive of the game, you guys were moving the ball very effectively, and then it kind of stalled from there. Did Miami make any adjustments, or what changed from that first drive?
I think we just started shooting ourselves in the foot, and we started putting ourselves in some tough situations. Second and third down, we moved the ball well, but I think that first drive we didn't really have anything that kind of stalled us, on ourselves, and so I think it was. Hats off to Miami, but I think at the same time we hurt ourselves a lot on those drives.
Bobby Ward with the Post for either of you. The penalties were kind of something that came up throughout the game on both sides of the ball. How frustrating is that in sort of a huge game?
Of course, it's always frustrating to be to do penalties, especially when we're being successful. But it's just the little discipline things that we have to be able to correct and be able to work on in order to make those penalties go away. So it's just something that we need to nip in the bud as far as our discipline.
Bobby Keegan with the Post. So Bryce, today you guys gave up the most points that you have all season, but the defense still played pretty well relatively. So just kind of what's your reaction to how the defense played today?
I'm extremely proud of how the defense played today, to be honest. We got some bad situations, with some field position things, and we were able to be resilient and be able to fight back and, allow them from not getting all touchdowns and things like that. Of course, we still have to be able to get better. We know that's not our standard. That many points is not allowed, especially from our defense. But at the same time, we were pretty resilient, and I was proud of us today.
Curtis, your guys' inability to run the football has kind of plagued you guys for a majority of the season. How much pressure does that put on you, and what have you seen from the run game from your perspective?
I think at times it can be really good and really help our offense, and sometimes it struggles a little bit, and it's definitely something that I know we're working on every week and trying to get better. And the better we run the football, the better the pass game is, but also it's the same as the better the pass game is, open up the run. And so we got to be able to be a complete team and be able to do what we do best, but also still be able to run the ball.
Bobby Ward with the Post for Curtis. The offense was 3 for 14 on third down. What did Miami do well to make it difficult in those situations?
I think they were just more disciplined on first and second down than we were. I think we got a lot of third and long situations, which for the most part this season we've avoided. We've been a pretty good third down team this year, and that's mainly because we didn't put ourselves in tough situations, and that kind of changed tonight. Like I said, I think we hurt ourselves with penalties on first, second down, and all of that, and so I think they did a good job, but at the same time, I think we hurt ourselves more.
One more for you, Curtis. Obviously, last year you guys were very efficient on offense compared to this year. What do you think is the major difference between the two? What's not clicking for you guys in certain spots?
I think that's a tough question. We're still trying to find that ourselves, but I think when we get down and we're rolling, we're doing the basics, and because we got some great players. But I don't specifically have an answer for you about that right now. But we'd love to be able to help our defense out more, like we did last year.
Curtis, what do you feel is the biggest difference that you could have made in today's game?
Probably. I mean, I'm still thinking obviously about that sack fumble. Ball security is something that I take with a lot of pride, and it's not something that wanted to happen and should have happened. So, and then love to have a couple throws back, but we'll have to look at the tape and maybe I can answer that again later.
And Bryce, Miami had a triple rushing yards to passing yards. What did you do to try to stop the running play?
I would just say we had to become a little bit more disciplined and a little bit more physical with as far as the run game and stuff like that. They were doing some good scheme things as far as trying to make sure our skill players and our impact players are not able to make the plays. And at the same time, it just comes down to tackling and being assignment, being on your alignment and stuff like that. And we just didn't tackle well enough today.
Anything else?
Bryce Twinson, WAB. Bryce, with a quarterback like Avion Smith and his ability to run the ball, that mesh, what is that when they're running the read option? What does that do for you and your reads and your keys to come downhill and play the run? Does it change anything? How much does it change for the rest of the defense too?
Yeah, number 2 is a very talented quarterback, and we knew he was very talented with his legs, so we knew that was something that was going to be in their game plan. Of course, their running backs did a great job, and making it a little bit easier for him, but it was always just a threat of him having the ball. He's able to make plays as well as the people he gives the ball to. So it was just it wouldn't be too bad.
Well, it did not go the way we wanted. Very disappointed with the outcome tonight. I want to start by tipping my hat to Coach Martin and his staff and their team. They came in and made more plays than we did. Had a great plan with where they are at quarterback, with Brett not being able to make the trip. And their ability to keep the ball in the second half and get a running game going. I thought their running back was, probably the best we've seen all year. And we had him wrapped up, and he's able to move the pile. Again, back to Miami and their effort, nothing but respect. And they played well for 4 quarters and won the game fair and square. And our efforts, I'm very proud of our effort. And we played to the end. And they fought. We got a very disappointed locker room down there, and some broken hearts. When you invest as much as our guys have since last season or the off season, and then July when we started, you invest as much as they have, it's going to hurt, and it is very obvious in the locker room that it is. With the expectations of the year, and the number of seniors that we have that walk today, we don't control our destiny, and they're just hurt, at home for our fans, and we didn't get it done. So where do we go from here? The sun's going to come up tomorrow, and like I said 2 weeks ago after the Northern Illinois game, with failure comes opportunity to get better, and that's what we're going to do. You fail every day. Everybody fails every day in life, and you're not a failure until you start blaming others, and making excuses, and we're not going to do that. This solely falls on me. I told our guys, I told our guys in the locker room that we use the word love when it's going good, but we're going to tell you the truth, and we're going to hold you accountable. And I share that with you to tell you that the truth is, hey, I'm disappointed with the penalties that we had. We're better than that, and we've got to find a way to get that fixed. That's not why we lost the game. That's not what I'm saying. That's not Bobcat football. Plain and simple. So with me, I also want to say, I want to tell our fans, we greatly appreciate them showing out today. It was loud down there, a tough environment with the rain, and they're very passionate. And I just, as a program, really, really appreciate them showing out today. I'm sorry we couldn't get it done for them. With that, I'll open up for questions.
Eric Decker with the Messenger. It was kind of just a drastic difference between the first 2 drives, then the sack fumble, and then 5 straight punts. So what just kind of changed offensively?
I thought we were still trying to call some of the same plays that worked, in the first 2 drives, and offensively, I think I can't say for the 5 straight, but we had a penalty and we were behind the chains. The and they declined one of the holding penalties, right? And so we were first and 20 and got to, this far, and couldn't overcome it. When you're playing a good defense, the two best defenses I believe that in the league were out there tonight, and we're not going to be able to have that many penalties in offense. I think we had 4 false starts, right? And that's just off the top of my head, and then the holding piece of that. So again, it's very difficult when you're playing a great defense to have those mistakes.
In Crowley WIB, just to kind of branch off of that a little bit, the third down and short really seemed to be a struggle today. What did you see in those possessions where you weren't able to kind of get that extra yard?
Again, I don't want to set, we just didn't get enough push, and it's a momentum killer. The fourth down, we knew we had 2, and we're just not able to convert. And so it takes a lot of wind out of your sail, right? It wasn't like they had the perfect defense called or whatever, there's physical matchups in there, and they got vertical distortion the wrong way backwards, and caused penetration, and were able to stop the play.
A big difference in the game was the difference in rushing yards. What did Miami do well physically, kind of to prevent you from running the ball effectively?
Again, they pushed us around a little bit, but that running back was different. As far as just his physicality, and you're not going to make every tackle. There's going to be missed tackles, and but it's going to be 2nd and 9 or 8, and then all of a sudden he kind of pushed it around, and it was 2nd and 4. It kept him on schedule. I think they threw 11 passes, right? So they were able to maintain their game plan, and get enough things done production wise to execute, for 4 quarters, and then we got behind and had to change our play calling, and their front 7, they're down 4 guys, got after us on the pass rush.
Bryce Stinson, WUB. Coach, you guys in the punt return, punt coverage game gave up 100 yards on 5 returns.
Yep.
The field position battle really leaned towards Miami. What kind of can you look at from this game and fix for the upcoming weeks?
Great question, and I knew it going into the game. Didn't really comment on it, but they had a big advantage in special teams. A punt returner, a kick returner, as we started the game with, sky kicking because of their ability. And then in the punt game, I was actually worried about them getting pressure on our punter, possibly block one. It's just watching their film. So I thought, first half wise, the punt right before halftime, they weren't expecting that. That's a new wrinkle for us. And then we did it again. They were ready for it. The guy got over and picked and caught it, and we didn't get him on the ground. And got the ball loose, but they fell on it. But I knew that they had their kickers, was an All-American kicker, right? So I'd like to say we got enough first downs that they wouldn't have to punt, but we wouldn't have to punt. But that obviously that's tough. But I knew they had an advantage. I thought we were gonna be able to get through it, but the field position we didn't win tonight, and it's because of what you said.
Coach, I don't think it necessarily shows on the scoreboard, but your defense was put in some very difficult spots, and they were able to hold Miami to 3. What did you see from that group tonight?
Again, I'm the effort. Really on all 3 phases, I'm the effort. I'm disappointed with some of the execution things, but they continue to play hard. They are a prideful bunch, and like you said, they did help hold them to field goals. We turned the ball over inside our 20, and they held them to a field goal. And so that kept us in the game, and then it got to be 2 scores with 8 minutes, 10 minutes to go, and we had to start playing catch up.
Coach, obviously, I mean, the team couldn't have been more dominant really in the first quarter, and then Miami kind of seemed to figure it out on defense. Kind of what was it, do you think, that like changed in between the first quarter and the second and third?
Yeah, I don't, I know we didn't stop playing hard. That's really all I can tell you. I mean, our kids played hard. We didn't change personnel. We just, called our plays. And, all I know from what I can tell you from watching the game was the penalty started drive 3. It's, again, I'm not making excuses. I just know that, we may have had one in there. I mean, they had a penalty. We got an easy first down, they jumped, right? Then they got called for disconcerting signals, all right? And then the hold started coming out. We had offsides. We were behind the chains.